Hey everyone, welcome back to the Big Dane podcast. How was everyone's weekend? The weather was a little funny. Like it keeps saying it's going to storm, but then I walk outside and the sun's out. So I don't know what's going on. But frankly, it's kind of annoying to try to plan around the rain because I've gotten caught in the rain before on a jug a couple weeks back, and then that wasn't really fun. So I'm just going to give you a quick couple updates just with my podcast. So I don't know how many of you right now are turning to Google Podcasts, but what I've been learning is that Google Podcasts, out of the three, so Apple and Spotify, Google Podcasts are kind of on a delay. So although I have it scheduled for you guys to be published for every Tuesday, I literally keep refreshing to see if it comes through, and it's such a delay. Like I can't even tell you exactly the time that it is published, but it's very late. Like it could even be like around dinner time. So just wanted to give you guys an update on that. If you thought, like, what is she talking about? She's on Google Podcasts? Like, no, she's not. Like, she's not even publishing a new episode. So that's what's going on. So Spotify and Apple, they pull from my RSS feed URL very quickly, and it automates very quickly. So I'm not really sure what is happening with Google Podcasts and how they're updating, but yeah, for some reason there's a little bit of delay. So just wanted to keep you guys in the loop on that. And also, I'm curious how many of you have been starting to check out my coffee page. Again, for those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, this is a profile for myself. It's a platform where it's all for creators and artists and literally anything. Photography. You can go on there for photography. Anything that you're passionate about and you want to try to pursue, this is the platform. And then you kind of expose, and what I'm doing is exposing this exclusive content for you that you can tap into only on my coffee page. And if you feel like it's funny or it's cool, like whatever I'm doing, maybe it's something behind the scenes, or breaking out the club Big Dane, you know what I'm saying? Then you can support me in that way, and in the sense of buy me a cup of coffee. So no pressure, of course, but I know this is all brand new to everyone and for myself. So but just wanted to remind you guys about that. So I'll keep you guys up to date with that. Probably mostly on Facebook with the link there. Only because with Instagram and right now you can't link anything when you make a post. It's not the same like Facebook. It's not going to be clickable, so I have to like keep updating my bio, and because there's so many links that I want you guys to have access to, it's just not feasible. So right now when I'm on Instagram, I'm telling you guys to go to my website, one click to all the links. So there you have it. And Facebook, I'll have more of that clickable content for you so you can actually see what's going on and check out coffee and see what's up. So on Friday, I posted about how I made margaritas, and I was in the middle of taking the picture, and then I realized you couldn't see the logo on the outside of the glass, and I was like, shit, because I really wanted you guys to see that. So I was like, oh, let me just take the empty one. I'll put it in the next view for when you're swiping through. And so with that empty one, as you can see, it was the Dave and Buster's. So quick story, but this was before I met Matt, so maybe like 2.5 years ago, and I was on a fourth date with this guy, and I knew that night that I wanted to tell him that I wasn't feeling it, and while we had fun and things like that, it just for me, there wasn't any connection and just wasn't interested. So we went over to Dave and Buster's, and I didn't want to be a dick and like have him show up and be like, "Oh, bye," like, and completely like cancel the date. So, and I don't know if this is worse or not, but so then we like had the whole night and, had a good time. And that was the other thing too. It's like I want to have a good time. Like I was still having fun. I just wasn't interested in to make it more than that. So now we have all these tickets. We played a bunch of games. Everything's great. And then I told him that, I wasn't, basically, I didn't want to see him again. And then he was actually like okay with it. He was really glad I was honest. Hey, there's that honesty. And then we went to get something from like a little prize. And oh my gosh, I don't know about you, but you need so many fucking tickets to get something good. I mean, I think I even remember that when I was little, like when you go to like Chuck E. Cheese or whatever. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So between the two of us, um, I'm like, what can I actually like use? Is there anything in here that I could take away that I'm actually gonna use and not like a bouncy ball that I'm just gonna like throw down the steps and stare at it? So we saw these whiskey glasses, and I was like, oh, I don't drink whiskey, but I'm like, oh, cool, like, let's get it. And um, I was trying to like push him to just like, why don't you take? Because I felt bad just because of what happened, but I mean, nothing, you can't change that. So he's like, no, 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 like, just you take it. So yeah, so I've had these whiskey glasses that now I made into little like cocktail glasses. So it was funny. So yeah, so that's what that was. And then just real quickly, before we get into the topic, and the topic is going to be kind of like interesting or like weird, strange things maybe you used to do, or maybe, you don't do anymore, but now you do other things. So it's going to get a little weird, but we got it. So, real quickly on my walk, I was coming back and saw a little fox. Oh, actually, I was jogging, so I was doing more than walking, but hey. Saw a little fox cross the trail, so cute. Everyone knows what I'm talking about because, every now and then you see the fox, the little red fox. So that is that. And just FYI, guys, if you're on the trail, be aware of your surroundings. If you're a cyclist, if you're a walker, if you're a jogger, just, I don't know, God forbid you communicate like, oh, on your left, or approaching, or something. But if there was an incident, don't want to get into it, but feel free to DM me. So, yeah. Okay, so here we go. So this was probably when I was maybe 14, and I'm Italian, so what comes to mind? Thick eyebrows, am I right? So I used to get them waxed because back then too, I don't know, I saw, friends or girls at school like would start waxing their eyebrows, and like mine were like pretty bushy. So I'm like, I don't want to look like my brother. I already look like my brother. I can't, like, I don't need to do this any further. So got them done, and it was great. And I did it for so long. I think I did it up until maybe the beginning of college, and then started the threading because I heard like that was supposed to be a little bit better for you. Well, I haven't gotten my eyebrows done probably since circa 2011. Yeah. And you ask, why is that, Dana? Well, let me tell you. So, I know because I have the proof on my face that from all the waxing back in my teenage years, it just never grew back. Now, while now, my eyebrows are fine. Like, it's not like I don't have any eyebrows. Like, that would be horrendous. And they're not thin, but I just remember them being thicker. And now it's like, and you really had to keep up with it. And I even remember one of my roommates in college, she was showing me, like, oh yeah, like I like take, just scissors just to like trim them, like the top. And so, like, oh, maybe I should start doing this. Why did I do this? I don't know. But so then I kind of lost some there too. So between it all, it just never grew back, which you're probably thinking, wow, that's great. Why are you complaining? Um, Not necessarily complaining, but I don't know why anyone didn't tell me this. Because especially now, and it's like, wow, the eyebrows have been in, and it's like, it's nice to have that thicker looking eyebrow. And now I'm using like an eyebrow gel to make them look just, just like filled in, if that makes sense. Like, I like the way they look, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, when I'm going out, I like to just make them look a little bit darker and a little more, um, you know, enhanced, if you will. So, yeah, so spoiler alert. If you're already 10 years in, you're doomed. So maybe you can tell your kids. um, what else? So, how about, and this is probably like an all women's episode, but so sorry guys, but we may jump into some stuff here that is more, male related. So, when you're, I don't know, I think anywhere between the ages of like 11, 12, maybe 13, that's a little late, but when you start shaving your legs for the first time, right? And you're just like, I just want the hair gone, this needs to come off. And then, at that time, you're shaving your legs like every other day because you're like, you don't want the stubble. No, there can't be any stubble because some boy is going to touch my leg or whatever it is, and you need it to be smooth as hell. So now you fast forward and 30 years old, and I don't shave my legs every day like that anymore. Like, first off, why would you do that? It's just gonna come back quicker. And then, like, do you really need to? Like, especially during the winter. And when you go to the gym and I'm wearing like long, like, workout leggings, those are days where my legs are hairy. So I don't care. Have there been days where I kind of forgot to shave them and now I'm wearing shorts at the gym? Absolutely. And then I'm like, oh gosh, don't look too closely. But then at the same time, honestly, like, I don't care. Like, uh, Matt is my boyfriend. You know, it's not like I'm trying to impress anyone at the gym or anywhere else. And so if they see a little hair, they see a little hair. So nothing to be ashamed about. Although I don't like go for like weeks without shave. That's just, then it gets too itchy. Like, I can't deal with that. I think now though that it's summer, I do shave more frequently than in the winter for sure. But I'm saying I'm not doing this every day because you don't need to. Whereas like you're a teenager and you can't, you have to be like, like a baby's bottom and just have it smooth all day, all night. Yeah. So, but I will say this, and just making sure we're still recording. So we're good. We're good. So I had a bicycle accident on the trail. This was, wow, it's been 3 years. So long story short, I hurt my right shoulder. Uh, so I was in a sling for quite a long time, and boy, that was the worst pain I have ever felt in my entire life. Like, I told you before, like, um, my brother would always tell me to be tough. So it's like always having that mindset. And like, I'm not one to cry after I get pushed over or, if I'm playing a sport or, whatever. I just kind of shake it off. I cannot shake this off. So, anyway, as you can imagine, and when I fell off, it was the summertime. So, which was good and bad, but I couldn't shave my right pit. Yeah. So, because even the slightest movement, there we go, it just hurt so, so bad. Like, until you experience something like this, then you know what I'm talking about. So, I know it's probably hard to understand if you can't relate, but so I would have to like slowly like reel up my arm and I had to do everything with my left hand because I'm right dominant. So I had to take the razor and like try to like get just a little bit of the hair underneath my armpit. And it was getting nasty. Yeah, real nasty. I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know so much hair could grow under that. Yeah, you see in movies where they really like, they probably glue on like extra hair, is what I think they do. Because if you think about it, men and women with hormones, obviously they're different. So there's no way you're going to look like you have a man's pit. So, but yeah, so definitely surprised myself, but it was hard to like keep up with that shaving. Um, Goodness. And then, oh, well, I'll give you a quick pause here because later in my episode, I'm going to do the is this mean or is this being honest? So, spoiler alert. So, be sure to keep listening and tuning in throughout the episode. So, now, one thing that came to mind also when I was probably like, yeah, a teenager when this first came out, I don't even know where it came from, but when people start doing the duck face, and then before you know it, you're doing the duck face in pictures, and you're putting your lips together, and like, and so that's me just like putting my lips in the duck shape, and that's what that was. And it's just like, why did we do that? Why did we think that was cool? Or I don't know. I also think we just kind of went along with it. I don't think we're like, yeah, like we have to do the duck face. Like, change your lips, don't smile, and we're gonna take this picture. Yeah. So I don't know if anyone else remembers that period, or maybe you still do it today. But how about when you put on your makeup? I think we can all attest to this. And I'm trying to get better at this, but your makeup face, like when you're applying your makeup, you're making some goofy face in the mirror. Like, what I realized I was doing is raising my eyebrows, creating, my forehead to like wrinkle. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to stop doing this because if I continue this at this rate, it's gonna be really noticeable when I'm not even raising my eyebrows. So now I'm trying to like relax my face when I'm putting my eyeshadow or whatever and doing my eyeliner and mascara. So, and what I also noticed I was doing that I don't think I realized before, were like I would have like my mouth open, like I'm about to say something, like speak, and nothing's coming out. I'm not talking to anyone. I'm staring at myself in the mirror trying to apply my goddamn makeup. So Yeah, so it's funny when you actually realize it and then you're like, why was I doing that? But like, why do we do that? It's just part of being human, I guess. And I don't know how we feel like putting on the makeup and things like that, but who knows? Um, and then your phone voice with your friends, and then your work phone voice, or even like I don't know, you have to call your bank, or maybe you have to call Xfinity because now they charge you yet again with an incorrect monthly cost. God, I hate calling them every time. So it's the customer service. But yeah, it'll be like, hey, what's up? And this is like, your friends, whatever. It's the weekend. And then, you start shooting the shit and then catching up. And somehow it turns into a rant that, something happened. And then you're like, am I right? That piece of shit. Can you believe that? And you just kind of go on. And meanwhile, at work, and now I'm joining a call, with an agency, and hi, Dana's on from SMMG, and then so you start presenting our capabilities and our recommendations, and then it gets into absolutely, and we can definitely make that happen for you. Oh, when did you need the answer by? Oh, end of day? No problem. I don't know if I have like a real difference, but like you definitely change your voice a little bit because it's almost like you're going into a higher pitch almost. But sometimes I would be careful about that. You don't want to crack like you just hit puberty or something. So it's just funny how we change things from what we're doing. And this one's kind of random, but hey, that's my podcast, random hodgepodge of topics. So, how about going commando at night? I don't do this through the day or when I run an errand or like anything, but like at night, getting ready for bed, you're picking out your PJs, which for me consists of a random t-shirt and like boxer shorts, I guess you would call them. Yeah, you just gotta let it breathe. Gotta let down there breathe. You want to get some sort of yeast infection. But it's true. It's true. You gotta take care down there. So I think, try it out if you haven't or you don't for whatever reason. Um, yeah, I just feel better. And my mom will probably kill me if I say this, but maybe not. But she would always tell me that, like, when I was like a teenager, like you have to, like, don't wear underwear like to bed or something. Like, she's like you have to let it breathe because she thought like maybe I would get a yeast infection or something like that just from being in the same underwear, like all day, and then obviously you shower, but because I shower at night, so but then it's just like now you're putting something again, like against yourself that probably isn't needed. So, especially when you think about side story, if you're in a pool all day and you've been in a bathing suit all day and it gets all like nasty down there, yeah, that's a perfect night to go commando. Oh my goodness. Um, and one other thought that I've been doing just since Matt and I have been living together, and he has a sweet tooth. He thinks I have a sweet tooth. Yeah, okay. So we'll get chocolate because we both enjoy, a little piece of chocolate after dinner or whatever. And so I normally take just one, right? Because all I need is one. I don't need five because now it's like, why, right? So Matt, he'll start out with one, and then maybe I'll start walking away. Then I hear some like crinkle crackle and the opening of the wrapper, you know. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like going for like a second and third piece of chocolate. I'm like, Matt, like this is gonna be gone, and I barely had any. So what I've been doing, and he knows I do this, but he doesn't know where I put it. I've been taking a couple pieces to a handful of pieces of chocolate out of the bag that we got. Maybe it's Ghirardelli, Dove, whatever, and hiding it. Yeah. Yeah. I have to because then it's gone. And then I'm like, wow, we should just do our own separate shopping, but that's a little ridiculous. So we're not roommates. So, yeah, I don't know if anyone else hides stuff from their partner. If they get into something, maybe it's like ice cream that maybe you have to relabel as like tomato sauce that maybe you froze, but really it's not. So who knows? But just wanted to share some of the things with you that are kind of weird and random. Maybe things that, I've experienced and now I'm like, why the hell did I do that? Or like, and things that have gone now. So, now we'll just get into the section of the episode of is this mean or being honest? I almost want to start, and maybe this will come a little bit later, but having a little jingle for that part so you guys know, like, whether it's this game or like something fun at the end so you guys know that, hey, what's this? So I was talking to one of my girlfriends, one of my best friends, um, and I could totally see her saying this because she's very, very blunt. Um, Even from when we were little, like she would just tell you how it is. And I don't remember something specifically directed towards me or anything like that, but she told me that she would tell someone and kind of started off like, no offense, but you're a little fat. Or no offense, but I don't like your hair. Okay, so we can kind of see that the first one is a little bit mean, and her and I were like joking about that. Like, yeah, that's a little mean, like, because now, like, I don't know, say if one of your family members, whoever, your friends, maybe put on some weight and it's noticeable, like, you're not gonna say that. Like, you just don't. It's just, I mean, maybe you would say something like, if you're more concerned or something like, oh, like, you just don't look yourself or something like that. So it doesn't feel like real mean. The thing with the hair, I mean, I think that's more of an honest one. I think, of course, like it depends how you say it. But yeah, I mean, we all have different tastes in hair, different cuts, colors, everything. So that one's a total honest one. But yeah, so if something happened to you recently where you said something and maybe you thought it was honest, but the other person thought it was mean, let me know. I want to hear about it, and I can bring it up on my next episode in the introduction. But just want to see what you guys have been experiencing. Um, well, that's a wrap. Yeah, we did it, and I'm looking at the clock here. I'm at 29 minutes for you. Damn. So be sure to subscribe, Spotify, iTunes, that Apple Podcast, same thing, Google Podcasts, and as a reminder that there's going to be a little bit of delay there. So, you can choose to listen for the time being on a different platform for Tuesday if you want to listen to it right away. Totally fine. Or if you feel like waiting to Tuesday night where you might see it, totally fine. And for, my coffee account and my page with all the crazy things on there and bunch of exclusive content, just go to my website because it's one click and you have all the links there, all of them. So check it out, and I can't wait to discuss next week's topic. All right, bye.